In the heart of a bustling city, a young man named Michael met a woman named Lisa. It was a chance encounter at a friend's party that sparked an undeniable connection between them. Michael, a kind-hearted and optimistic individual, was immediately drawn to Lisa's beauty and charisma. She had a way of captivating everyone around her, and Michael was no exception. As their relationship blossomed, Michael's friends and family couldn't help but notice the new woman in his life. Whispers about Lisa's ungrateful attitude began to circulate through the community. Stories of her dismissive behavior and unkindness towards those around her painted a concerning picture. However, Michael, deeply infatuated and hopeful, chose to overlook these rumors. To him, Lisa was a beacon of joy and love, and he was determined to make their relationship work despite the warnings. Lisa, with her charm and grace, seemed to live up to every bit of Michael's adoration. They spent countless hours together, sharing their dreams and aspirations. Michael's friends watched in silence, their concerns growing with each passing day. They knew the stories about Lisa, but Michael's love was a powerful force, blinding him to their warnings. As their relationship grew more serious, Michael couldn't deny the pull he felt towards Lisa. He believed that with his love and commitment, he could change her for the better. The rumors, he convinced himself, were just that, rumors. Love, he thought, was enough to overcome any obstacle. In the end, Michael's unwavering devotion to Lisa was both his strength and his weakness. He was willing to give everything for her, even if it meant ignoring the warnings from those who cared about him. Little did he know, the journey ahead would test the limits of his love and resilience in ways he could never have imagined. As Michael and Lisa's relationship deepened, the whispers around them grew louder. Elders and friends from both their circles began to express their concerns more directly. They feared for Michael's future, given the persistent rumors about Lisa's character. One evening, a close friend of Michael's, James, decided to confront him privately. "Michael, I need to talk to you about Lisa," James began, his voice laden with concern. "I've heard some troubling things about her. People say she's ungrateful and doesn't treat those around her well." Michael, who had always valued James's opinion, was taken aback. "James, I appreciate your concern, but you don't know her like I do. She's kind, loving, and everything I've ever wanted. I'm sure these rumors are just misunderstandings." James sighed, feeling the weight of his words. "Please, just think about it. We've seen relationships falter because one partner was blinded by love. Don't let that happen to you." Despite the warnings, Michael's resolve remained steadfast. He believed that love could conquer all and refused to entertain the idea that Lisa might not be the person he thought she was. His response was to dismiss James's concerns, believing that only time would prove the validity of his feelings. The following week, Michael was approached by another elder, Mrs. Anderson, who had known him since childhood. "Michael, dear, I've heard about Lisa. I want you to be cautious. Sometimes people can seem wonderful on the surface, but have qualities that only become apparent later." Michael's frustration began to show. "I've heard this before. I'm not going to let rumors dictate my life. I love Lisa, and I believe in us." The elders' and friends' warnings fell on deaf ears. Michael's determination to follow his heart was unwavering. He felt that any issues could be resolved with love and patience. As he pushed aside the advice from those around him, he became increasingly isolated from his community. He was living in a bubble of love, blissfully unaware of the potential storm brewing on the horizon. Michael's disregard for the advice of his loved ones would soon become a crucial factor in the unfolding drama of his relationship with Lisa. He was about to embark on a journey that would challenge his beliefs about love and loyalty, and the repercussions of his choices were yet to be fully realized. After months of dating, Michael felt it was time to introduce Lisa to his parents. He was excited to share the woman he loved so deeply with the people who had supported him throughout his life. Lisa, who had always been charming and poised in Michael's presence, put on her best smile for this significant meeting. Michael's parents, Thomas and Evelyn, were warm and welcoming. They had always been supportive of Michael's choices, but as they greeted Lisa, there was a noticeable tension in the air. Lisa's demeanor shifted as she entered their home, and while she tried to appear friendly, her behavior was slightly off-putting. She was polite but seemed distant, her conversations curt and lacking in genuine warmth. During the dinner, Thomas and Evelyn exchanged glances. Thomas, a man known for his perceptiveness, couldn't ignore the subtle signs of discontent in Lisa's mannerisms. Evelyn, always intuitive about people's characters, found herself unsettled by Lisa's lack of engagement and genuine interest in their lives. After the dinner, when Lisa had left, Michael's parents asked him to stay behind. They wanted to share their observations and concerns about the woman he planned to marry. "Michael," Thomas began cautiously, "we've always supported you, and we're happy to see you in love. But we noticed something tonight. Lisa didn't seem genuinely interested in us, or in your family. There's a certain aloofness about her that worries us." Evelyn nodded in agreement. "We've heard things about her from the community as well. While we don't want to judge too quickly, we think you should be cautious. She may not be as sincere as she appears." Michael's heart sank. He was already deeply in love with Lisa, and hearing these critiques from his parents was painful. "I understand where you're coming from, but Lisa and I have a strong connection. I know her better than anyone, and I believe she's just nervous. Please try to give her a chance." Thomas and Evelyn looked at each other with concern. They were reluctant to push Michael away, but they felt it was their duty to express their reservations. "We're not saying you should end things, Michael," Thomas said gently. "We just want you to be aware of what we've observed. If you choose to continue with Lisa, please make sure you're making an informed decision." Michael left his parents' house feeling conflicted. He loved Lisa deeply and was committed to their relationship, but the doubts planted by his parents' observations and the community rumors weighed heavily on him. As he drove home, he couldn't shake off the uneasy feeling that something was amiss. His love for Lisa was unwavering, but the growing concerns from those he trusted began to erode his confidence. This pivotal meeting with Lisa's potential in-laws marked the beginning of a series of events that would challenge Michael's beliefs and test the strength of his love. The warnings from his parents were just the tip of the iceberg, and Michael's refusal to heed their advice would soon have profound consequences for his future. Despite the growing concerns from his parents and friends, Michael's feelings for Lisa remained strong. Her beauty, charm, and the way she seemed to light up his world were reasons enough for him to ignore the warnings. To him, Lisa was more than just a woman. She was the embodiment of his dreams and desires. Her presence made him feel complete, and he was determined not to let go of the vision he had for their future together. Lisa's allure went beyond her physical appearance. She had a way of making Michael feel special and loved in ways he had never experienced before. They shared countless romantic moments, and Michael often found himself lost in her eyes, forgetting the outside world. Her affectionate gestures and the way she spoke about their future painted a picture of a life filled with happiness and success. One evening, as they strolled hand in hand through the park, Lisa spoke of their future with such passion that Michael was once again convinced that they were meant to be together. "Michael, I can't wait for us to build our life together," Lisa said with a dreamy smile. "I envision us living in a beautiful home, traveling the world, and achieving everything we've ever dreamed of." Michael, enthralled by her vision, could hardly contain his excitement. "I'm going to make all of that happen for us," he promised, his heart full of hope. "Nothing will stand in our way." However, as time passed, Lisa's true character began to reveal itself more prominently. Michael, blinded by love, initially dismissed any negative signs. Lisa's materialistic tendencies and her constant dissatisfaction with what she had began to surface. When Michael bought her a brand new Toyota Camry, she barely acknowledged it and expressed a preference for a Hyundai Elantra instead, which she claimed was more fashionable. The expensive gifts and thoughtful gestures Michael made were met with indifference and even disdain. The contrast between the image Michael had of Lisa and the reality of her behavior began to create a chasm in their relationship. Lisa's dismissive attitude towards Michael's efforts, coupled with her ungrateful comments, started to erode the foundation of their love. Yet, Michael remained resolute. He convinced himself that these were minor issues that could be resolved with time and patience. Michael's friends and family watched in increasing concern as Lisa's true nature became more apparent. They saw the way she treated Michael with a lack of appreciation and respect, and their fears for him grew stronger. Yet, Michael's commitment to Lisa was unwavering. He refused to see the growing evidence of her ungratefulness, convinced that his love was enough to overcome any challenges. In his heart, Michael knew that Lisa's beauty and charm were the reasons he had fallen in love with her. Her appearance and the romantic image she projected were intoxicating. But as the days turned into months, the allure of her initial charm began to fade, revealing a more troubling reality. Michael's determination to hold on to his vision of a perfect life with Lisa would soon face its greatest test. As the cracks in their relationship widened, he would have to confront the truth about Lisa's character and the impact of his decisions. The journey ahead would challenge everything he had believed about love and commitment. As Michael continued to ignore the growing signs of Lisa's true nature, the tension between them began to escalate. The initial charm that had drawn Michael to Lisa was increasingly overshadowed by her ungratefulness and disdain for his efforts. Their relationship, once filled with laughter and joy, now faced frequent arguments and disagreements. One evening, Michael came home to find Lisa in a particularly foul mood. She had been upset all day, and her frustrations seemed to have no end. Michael, ever the optimist, tried to cheer her up with a surprise, a luxurious diamond necklace he had bought after much thought and effort. He hoped it would lift her spirits and remind her of his love. Lisa glanced at the necklace with barely concealed annoyance. "What is this?" she snapped, her tone sharp and unappreciative. "Another expensive trinket? I told you I'm tired of these things. They don't fix anything." Michael was taken aback by her reaction. He had expected her to be delighted, but instead, he felt a pang of hurt. "I thought you'd like it," he said quietly, trying to keep his voice steady. "I wanted to show you how much I care." Lisa rolled her eyes and threw the necklace onto the table. "You think buying me jewelry is going to solve our problems? We need more than material things, Michael. We need real change." Her words stung, but Michael chose to brush off the incident. He wanted to believe that their problems were temporary and that his love could mend their issues. Yet, as time passed, the cracks in their relationship grew deeper. Lisa's dissatisfaction with their life became more apparent, and her dismissive behavior towards Michael became a regular occurrence. Michael's resentment towards Lisa's parents and friends continued to fester. He had grown to view them as obstacles to his happiness, blaming them for their negative opinions about Lisa. He felt that their warnings were nothing more than attempts to undermine his relationship. This resentment fueled his determination to make things work with Lisa, despite the mounting evidence of her ungratefulness. His friends and family remained concerned, but Michael refused to listen. He isolated himself from them, focusing solely on his relationship with Lisa. The more they tried to intervene, the more he rejected their advice. His anger towards them intensified as he perceived their warnings as a threat to his happiness. As the years went by, Lisa's behavior became increasingly erratic. She belittled Michael's efforts and criticized his choices, creating a toxic environment that made it difficult for him to find joy in their relationship. Despite his best efforts to remain positive, Michael began to feel the weight of his decision pressing down on him. His once hopeful vision of a perfect life with Lisa was fading, replaced by a harsh reality he had been reluctant to acknowledge. In this turbulent period, Michael began to question his own judgments. The love that had once seemed so invincible was now overshadowed by doubt and frustration. His relationship with Lisa had become a battleground of unmet expectations and unfulfilled promises. The man who had once been blinded by love was now forced to confront the painful truth about the woman he had chosen to marry. As the tension between them reached a breaking point, Michael faced a critical decision: continue to endure the misery of his relationship with Lisa, or confront the reality of her ungratefulness and seek a path forward that could lead to healing and self-discovery. The choices he made in the coming days would shape the course of his life and the future of his relationship with Lisa. Michael's resentment towards Lisa's parents and friends continued to fester. He had grown to view them as obstacles to his happiness, blaming them for their negative opinions about Lisa. He felt that their warnings were nothing more than attempts to undermine his relationship. This resentment fueled his determination to make things work with Lisa, despite the mounting evidence of her ungratefulness. His friends and family remained concerned, but Michael refused to listen. He isolated himself from them, focusing solely on his relationship with Lisa. The more they tried to intervene, the more he rejected their advice. His anger towards them intensified as he perceived their warnings as a threat to his happiness. As the years went by, Lisa's behavior became increasingly erratic. She belittled Michael's efforts and criticized his choices, creating a toxic environment that made it difficult for him to find joy in their relationship. Despite his best efforts to remain positive, Michael began to feel the weight of his decision pressing down on him. His once hopeful vision of a perfect life with Lisa was fading, replaced by a harsh reality he had been reluctant to acknowledge. In this turbulent period, Michael began to question his own judgments. The love that had once seemed so invincible was now overshadowed by doubt and frustration. His relationship with Lisa had become a battleground of unmet expectations and unfulfilled promises. The man who had once been blinded by love was now forced to confront the painful truth about the woman he had chosen to marry. As the tension between them reached a breaking point, Michael faced a critical decision: continue to endure the misery of his relationship with Lisa, or confront the reality of her ungratefulness and seek a path forward that could lead to healing and self-discovery. The choices he made in the coming days would shape the course of his life and the future of his relationship with Lisa. The tension in Michael and Lisa's relationship reached a breaking point. The once hopeful atmosphere of their home had been replaced by an environment of constant conflict and unspoken resentment. Despite Michael's best efforts to mend their relationship, Lisa's behavior grew increasingly hostile and dismissive. One day, after yet another argument about their financial situation and Lisa's endless demands, Michael came home with what he thought was a thoughtful gesture: a pair of high-end designer shoes Lisa had mentioned in passing. He hoped the gift would signal his willingness to support her desires and demonstrate his love. Lisa's reaction was anything but appreciative. She examined the shoes with a critical eye, barely concealing her irritation. "You know, it's always about what you think will make me happy, not what I actually want," she said coldly. "These are nice, but they're not what I asked for." Michael's frustration boiled over. "I've tried everything, Lisa. I work hard to give you everything you want, and it's never enough. I don't know what more I can do." Lisa's eyes flashed with anger. "Maybe if you listened to me instead of just throwing money at me, things would be different. But you're too busy trying to buy my affection to see how miserable you're making me." The argument escalated, with both of them shouting over each other. Michael's attempts to calm the situation were futile, and Lisa's harsh words cut deep. The love that had once brought them together was now buried under layers of bitterness and frustration. As the weeks passed, the relationship continued to deteriorate. Lisa's dissatisfaction seemed to grow with each day, and Michael's emotional and physical health began to decline. The constant stress was affecting his work performance and his overall well-being. He felt trapped in a never-ending cycle of trying to please someone who seemed intent on rejecting his efforts. Michael's friends and family, who had remained on the periphery of his relationship with Lisa, grew increasingly concerned. They saw the toll it was taking on him and urged him to reconsider his situation. But Michael was resolute, believing that his love for Lisa could overcome any challenge. In private, Lisa's behavior became even more erratic. She belittled Michael's accomplishments, criticized his every move, and openly displayed her disdain for their life together. Her discontent became a constant presence, overshadowing any moments of peace or happiness they might have shared. One day, Lisa received an invitation to a high-profile social event in town. Michael, eager to do something positive for their relationship, took the opportunity to plan a special evening. He arranged for a luxurious dinner and a night at a prestigious hotel, hoping that the experience would help them reconnect. However, Lisa's reaction to the plan was cold and dismissive. "I don't see the point in this," she said. "We're just going through the motions. If you want to impress me, do it in a way that actually matters." The evening turned into yet another battleground, with Lisa's complaints overshadowing Michael's intentions. The luxury and effort that Michael had put into the night seemed meaningless to Lisa, and the emotional distance between them felt insurmountable. The breaking point came when Lisa, driven by frustration and discontent, began to entertain the idea of leaving their relationship. She started seeking attention from other men, hoping to find solace and validation outside of her marriage. Michael's heart ached as he noticed her growing indifference and the subtle signs of her seeking companionship elsewhere. In a desperate attempt to salvage what remained of their relationship, Michael sought professional help again, this time insisting that Lisa participate in couples therapy. But Lisa's reluctance and refusal to engage in the process only deepened the rift between them. The once promising future Michael had envisioned now seemed like a distant dream. The love and hope that had once fueled his commitment to Lisa were now overshadowed by the harsh reality of their relationship. As the emotional and physical strain continued to mount, Michael faced a crucial decision: whether to continue enduring the pain of a failing relationship or to confront the possibility that it was time to let go and seek a new path forward. The strain of Michael and Lisa's deteriorating relationship reached new depths. Michael's efforts to improve their situation seemed futile, and Lisa's behavior grew more disdainful. The emotional weight of their marriage began to take a severe toll on Michael's mental and physical health. One particularly harsh winter evening, Michael returned home from work feeling exhausted and defeated. Lisa had made plans to attend a charity gala with her friends, and the house was filled with tension. Despite his fatigue, Michael attempted to be supportive, helping Lisa get ready and offering her a genuine smile. "Do you really have to go tonight?" Michael asked, trying to keep his voice calm. "I could use some company." Lisa barely glanced at him as she adjusted her dress. "I've been looking forward to this event for weeks. You know, sometimes I need a break from all this," she said, her tone cold and dismissive. The night was a painful reminder of the growing divide between them. As Lisa left for the gala, Michael was left alone in their empty home, feeling an overwhelming sense of loneliness. The once familiar comfort of their house now felt like a prison, and he struggled with the crushing weight of his isolation. As Lisa mingled with her friends at the gala, she reveled in the attention and admiration she received. She flirted with other men and seemed to relish in the escape from her troubled marriage. The glamorous event was a stark contrast to the reality Michael faced at home. The next morning, Lisa returned from the gala in a worse mood than usual. She complained about the event, criticized Michael for not being supportive, and dismissed his attempts to talk about their relationship. The harsh words and negative energy that Lisa brought home only deepened Michael's despair. The emotional toll of Lisa's behavior was becoming unbearable. Michael's work performance suffered, and he found it increasingly difficult to focus on his responsibilities. His friends and family noticed the drastic changes in him, but Michael was reluctant to open up about the severity of his situation. He felt trapped between his desire to hold on to his marriage and the growing realization that it might be beyond repair. Lisa's dissatisfaction with their life together continued to grow. She began to openly discuss her desire for a more luxurious lifestyle, hinting at the possibility of seeking a relationship with someone wealthier. Her comments were a painful reminder of the widening gap between their dreams and their reality. One day, after a particularly harsh argument, Lisa confided in a close friend that she was considering leaving Michael for a wealthy businessman she had met. The friend, deeply concerned for Lisa's well-being, tried to persuade her to reconsider. However, Lisa's mind was already made up. She was convinced that a new relationship with financial stability would solve her problems and bring her the happiness she had been seeking. The breaking point came when Lisa formally announced her decision to seek a divorce. She was clear and resolute, citing Michael's failure to meet her expectations and her need for a fresh start. Michael was devastated by her decision, but felt a profound sense of relief, mixed with his heartbreak. The realization that their marriage was ending was both painful and liberating. The legal proceedings were swift. Michael's properties and assets were divided, and Lisa received a substantial share. She used the financial settlement to quickly move on, starting a new life with her wealthy new partner. Michael was left to pick up the pieces of his shattered life. In the aftermath of the divorce, Michael struggled with feelings of worthlessness and failure. The love he had invested in his relationship with Lisa seemed to have been in vain, and he faced the daunting task of rebuilding his life from scratch. The emotional scars from the marriage and the divorce were deep, and the path to healing seemed uncertain. During his recovery, Michael began to reflect on the advice he had received from his parents and friends. He realized, too late, that their warnings had been well-founded. The lessons learned from his experiences with Lisa became a source of insight and growth. As he sought to rebuild his life, Michael vowed to use his painful experiences to help others avoid similar pitfalls in their relationships. The road to recovery was long and arduous, but Michael began to find solace in sharing his story and offering guidance to those who were struggling with their own relationships. His journey from heartbreak to healing became a testament to the power of resilience and self-discovery. As Michael moved forward, he embraced the lessons learned from his marriage with Lisa. His experiences shaped his understanding of love, commitment, and the importance of appreciating and respecting one's partner. The pain of his past became a source of strength as he navigated the path to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. As Lisa embarked on her new life with her wealthy partner, Michael was left to grapple with the fallout of their failed marriage. The once promising future that Michael had envisioned was now a distant memory, replaced by the harsh reality of his new circumstances. The divorce had not only taken a toll on his finances, but also on his emotional well-being. The initial weeks following the separation were the hardest for Michael. He struggled to come to terms with the fact that the woman he had devoted so much of his life to had moved on so quickly. The loneliness and sense of betrayal were overwhelming, and he found himself questioning his own worth and the decisions that had led him to this point. Despite his pain, Michael began to take steps towards rebuilding his life. He sought professional counseling to help him process his emotions and gain clarity about his future. The therapy sessions were both challenging and cathartic, providing him with valuable insights into the dynamics of his past relationship and helping him understand the importance of self-worth and healthy boundaries. In addition to therapy, Michael focused on reconnecting with friends and family who had been distanced during his marriage. Their support was instrumental in helping him regain his confidence and sense of self. He began to rebuild the relationships that had been strained and neglected during his marriage, finding solace in the connections he had once taken for granted. As part of his healing process, Michael also engaged in personal development activities. He took up new hobbies and pursued interests he had previously set aside. The creative outlet and sense of accomplishment from these activities played a crucial role in his recovery. Michael discovered a newfound passion for writing and started a blog where he shared his experiences and insights about relationships, personal growth, and resilience. Through his writing, Michael connected with others who had faced similar struggles. The feedback and support he received from his readers were encouraging and reaffirmed his belief that his experiences could help others navigate their own challenges. Michael found purpose in his ability to offer advice and support, using his story as a beacon of hope for those going through difficult times. Meanwhile, Lisa's new relationship, while initially glamorous and exciting, began to unravel. The wealthy businessman she had married was revealed to be involved in fraudulent activities. The scandal rocked their social circle, and Lisa's new life was soon plagued by legal and financial troubles. Her seemingly perfect escape turned into a nightmare, and she found herself isolated and disillusioned. As Lisa's world crumbled, Michael received news of her predicament through mutual acquaintances. During his recovery, Michael began to reflect on the advice he had received from his parents and friends. He realized, too late, that their warnings had been well-founded. The lessons learned from his experiences with Lisa became a source of insight and growth. As he sought to rebuild his life, Michael vowed to use his painful experiences to help others avoid similar pitfalls in their relationships. The road to recovery was long and arduous, but Michael began to find solace in sharing his story and offering guidance to those who were struggling with their own relationships. His journey from heartbreak to healing became a testament to the power of resilience and self-discovery. As Michael moved forward, he embraced the lessons learned from his marriage with Lisa. His experiences shaped his understanding of love, commitment, and the importance of appreciating and respecting one's partner. The pain of his past became a source of strength as he navigated the path to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. As Lisa embarked on her new life with her